Hey, hello.
Hey.
Welcome to Allowing.Love Live. And as always, we're going to call in the light or do a version of a centering, a relaxing, a connecting process. So if you're watching this live right now, or if you're watching it via recording, I do encourage you to actually give yourself the gift of just a few moments, right, of really letting go of whatever you're doing and coming present, tuning within, and really, in some ways, doing the heart of what allowing love is, which is really letting go of this world, letting go of our ego, and really coming into a profound connection of who we really are, which is love, which is spirit, which is that still invisible essence at the heart of all things that's really helping us, supporting us, expanding us, loving us at all times. So we have an opportunity to experience that right now. Alrighty, so I'm going to close my eyes. Please do whatever makes you feel the most relaxed. So in this moment, we do ask, Father, Mother, God, that essence of creation, that source energy, that light, that spark, that truth that is the heart of every being on this planet, we just open to that awareness, to that possibility, but most importantly, we open to the experience of this loving, this light, this sweetness that we are. And by using our creative imagination in this moment, we receive a column of beautiful, bright, white light. And it streams from the highest point that we can imagine. You can imagine it like a waterfall. Just this beautiful, bright, white light carries with it healing properties, cleansing properties. Just anything that you need in this moment, give this waterfall of light those properties that you need. Perhaps you need a little more joy or a greater ability just to relax and to know that it's all perfect just as it is right now. But whatever you need in this moment, I'm going to ask that you allow this waterfall to give you that. And as we allow whatever is in our space to truly be allowed, as if every single moment, including this one, was perfectly designed, perfectly orchestrated, and that there is nothing that is against us in any way, we truly allow this waterfall, this moment, to completely relax us, energetically support us in letting go. And we do just now ask for the support of the Spirit, of the Holy Spirit, of the light, that essence of unconditional loving. And we ask that this time together be one of letting go of anything that we've held back and really allowing ourselves to live our greatest, most loving, most successful lives. And in this moment, we show up for playing big, for standing tall, and for allowing love in our life. And for all that's in our life just now. We truly say thank you. And for all of those things in our life just now that's a little hard to say thank you for, right? Maybe it's the health of a loved one or the health of yourself that's a little challenging or a lot challenging right now. Maybe it's a financial situation. Maybe it's just a lack of clarity and a lack of joy in a certain area of your life. But whatever is most challenging, the most just difficult to actually find gratitude for in your life, just call that aspect forward. And just send up a clear intention to Spirit Spirit, please help me find the purpose, find the joy, find my ability to come into alignment, cooperation, and to really embrace the gratitude that I have for this situation. Because in my heart of hearts, I do know that it's been given to me, for me, and there is great love, great joy, great growth, great healing, great expansion, great learning at the heart of this challenge just now. And in any way that you can take it from me in grace, please do that. And in all ways that you can support me in learning and growing and lifting through this challenge, please do that. And for all of your support, for all of our support, for all of the spirit and love that we have in our lives, we say thank you. And we say we're ready for more love, more grace, more ease, more joy. And so it is.
So it is.
Alrighty. So, I didn't really wear so much of small planes flying over. So truly today I have nothing in my consciousness in terms of what's present and why we're here.
Why are we here?
Why are we here?
It's a lot.
Right? And I think that's definitely a supportive awareness to have, right? Imagine if rather than thinking that this life, that we're here to make money, that we're here to be happy, that we're here to achieve and do stuff. Imagine if we truly believed that we were here just to love, just to learn how to love, just to grow in our abilities to love. And this really is what gets me excited, actually, because I feel like we all come in with a really beautiful ability to love the good parts of our life, the parts of our life that are going easily and going well for us. It's easy to love the people in our lives when they're nice to us. What's a lot more challenging and definitely one of the hearts, if not the core heart of why I believe I'm here, is to learn how to love unconditionally. And so loving unconditionally really, in my experience, connects us to our superhuman abilities, not our human ability to love, but our spiritual, our superhuman ability to love, to be for, to really not stop our loving, our support, our compassion, our kindness to those things that would look like they're coming against us, that are even attacking us or in some way against us in a very real way. And that's just so exciting to me. Because as we grow those muscles of superhuman loving, of unconditionally loving the shitty stuff, the petty tyrants, or the people and situations that aren't for us, we unlock a level of grace, of flow, of just of spiritual support that in my life is really why we're here. So I don't want to get too esoteric or too out with the clouds today.
How's that going for you? How to unconditionally love? Learning how to unconditionally love. How are you doing with that?
That's a really good question. And I think, well, I'm just going to claim it for me. In my life, it's most about me unconditionally loving the parts inside of me that are really challenging. I have been doing this spiritual work for 20 years, so I feel like I've done a lot of really great work at loving the situations, right? My mum died when I was little, sexual abuse, drug addiction. I've had some really challenging stuff, and really embracing and loving and finding my loving and my acceptance and my gratitude for all of those things has been profound, right? And I feel like I'm for the most part, in a really great place with experiencing others and the situations in my life as for me, right? I even had a really great experience the other day of getting a flat tire. Up until maybe the last couple of years, if I got a flat tire, I would just naturally perceive it as against me. It's like, and just all the energy drops out of our sails, right? But it was like, oh wow, no, this is for me. Like this is great, right? I can flow with this. I can allow this. There is love. There is only love, God, and grace for me in this experience. And it was truly like, I could see the serendipity, the truly, well, not only was I'd just forgotten my cell phone. So if I hadn't forgotten my cell phone, which I could have been cursing myself for, anyway, there was lots of different synchronicities and serendipities that really supported me in saying, wow, no, this experience is beautiful. It's for me.
And I rear-ended someone yesterday lightly, so I had that experience. But yeah, it was very, I think the fact that the guy was very appreciative that I was so honest, and he said honorable, and just said, hey, I just said, hey, I know it's my fault. Let me know what you need from me. Here's my info, it's just a really graceful experience, and I'm grateful. I went into the gratitude of having that experience, that it was so easy and smooth, that he wasn't blaming me, I wasn't blaming him. It was just very clear, and I'm grateful that I could do work yesterday and make money to pay for things like that when they happen, So it was a good reference point, and it also just was a message to remind me to be more aware, of course, when I'm driving, that it's very, you need to be more aware when driving. So
definitely a good plug for greater awareness.
I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the experience. Yeah. Hopefully, it won't be too much money, but it is what it is. Yeah. So, yeah.
And so, I feel that my big opportunities and really where the energy is in my life right now is really about how do I unconditionally love myself. Because I really wish I was a perfect person, and I didn't doubt myself, and I didn't feel shitty, and I didn't judge and question myself as much as I do, right? But it is my experience that when we're really putting our hand up and saying, Spirit, right, use me. I wanna share great and beautiful work in the world, and I want to just follow my heart, right? I want to be present with that I've been given in this life, and I want to just do my best to share my love, my light, my energy, my vibration with the world. It's in so many ways we do that purely to allow ourselves to be in a process of letting go of all of the parts of us that would hold us back, that would buy into any lack of worthiness, lack of oneness or experience with spirit. Because, and I'll get it completely wrong, I just think the Rumi quote really describes the process of moving through this life in allowing love, and maybe just in the best way possible. It's something to the effect of, our job is not to seek for love, but to seek for the barriers against it, and to release them. I've just completely butchered the most poetic, beautiful poem.
But right? you got the essence of it.
The heart is that we are love. Right, who we are, right? There's nothing that we need to do to try to be better, to be more, to somehow like be spiritual. We are that we can't stop that. That is who we are, right? And like an onion, right? We are also at this time, well, I don't know who I'm talking to, but I am a human, and I have lower levels, almost experiences that sit in some way, that this works for me. Thinking about it this way kind of works on top or around, like an onion, around this beautiful center of loving. And in certain moments, right, I have experiences of fully just allowing myself to let go of any of these human lower level parts, and I'm just aware of the love, the joy, the fullness. And I think that's why we love doing spiritual workshops, or going to see inspiring people, or even, I have to say, going to a concert or a sporting game, or just being in an experience where everything is just like, my life feels so perfect, I feel so great, I'm just in the joy, I'm only just aware of the joy and the perfection right now. And in my experience, that pure joy, right, not the happiness because I have a handbag or the happiness that's related to an achievement, but just pure joy from being in the moment. It's my best reference point for it. I'm aligned with my soul, right? I've let go in this moment to any of the blocks, the misbeliefs, the illusions of the limits of my physicality, and I'm just in spiritual awareness right now.
Are you in there now? Are you in the joy?
I am in the joy right now.
Especially when we say it, right?
Yeah.
We call ourselves forward. So.
Yeah. And it's a choice. Yeah. And I think what's really powerful about this life, and this is such a simple and I think really easily and overlooked thing, is that it's amazing to go out and do those beautiful things and to have that experience, to do a spiritual workshop or do a retreat and come back just completely open and filled. But in my experience, right, we've got to do our best to turn that on every day. And that's why I am so passionate about a morning practice, an everyday practice. And I don't believe that we're robots, so doing something perfectly every day. I'm sure there are many people out there that have managed it. But in my experience, really aiming for consistency is really powerful, because it's very easy, right?
I still struggle with that. But, okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so we do, right? Just have a profound ability to tune in to this source, this loving that we are, and just through our conscious intention to let go. And as the first times, I'm sure that I started doing this, I wouldn't have said that it was easy, that, right? Because the reference point isn't there as much. But I do want to share that when I first started doing this, when I was 19, so 22 years ago, I can't remember if my dad told me this specifically, but what I took out of his beautiful little tutorial on how to meditate was just pretend being happy, like be happy, be joyful, but for no reason at all. And for whatever reason, that really worked for me, right? It's almost like I knew how to tune into an experience of being happy. And I know that my spiritual teacher, and I know that it's a really powerful trick to almost, if you need to springboard onto that happiness through something that makes you happy, like your puppy or someone that you love, right? Like, go for it. Give that to you. Maybe you just got a new car. And it just like explodes your heart thinking about your new car. Great, go for it, right?
Why not?
Exactly. And so, but really use it as a springboard,
yeah.
Right? Don't attach to the, oh, I love my husband. Attach to this, or not even attach, right? Allow it to flow, to be, to move. This experience of joy and of happiness, of joy, whatever word works for you.
Yeah.
But I remember, I just somehow naturally, instinctively knew how to do that. I'd never been taught how to do that, but I could almost charge my energy field just on being happy, right? And I often use the experience with clients, right? I often say something to the effect of, right, if I had $1 billion to give you right now, right? Like, you could feel a certain way, right? You could come into the experience of exactly that you want, right? And I think that's just a powerful way to really get us into that experience and really allow ourselves to spend as much time as we can, right? And the doubts and the shopping list and the laundry that you haven't done, that's all going to come in, perhaps. And that's okay, right? It's just really about continuing to allow, continuing to be present, holding into a focus of what we want, but just allowing it to move through as much as you're able.
I think it's that balance of like allowing whatever comes present and then directing your focus.
I love that.
Because I'm very much, my mind can start saying things and then I'm like, then 5 minutes later I'm like, whoa, how did I end up there?
Yeah.
But it's like refocusing.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways for me what works too is not only thinking of something like your dog, your husband, or whatever brings you joy, but just mocking it up. Like, what do I look like being happy? Like visualizing myself or just like seeing myself happy or joyful. So like imagining it, and the imagination's so powerful in that way. It can actually make what is real in a sense and bring it forward. And thinking about focus, I realized too is I remember JR saying, I've thought about this for a while now, all you want to be, you already are. All you have to do is move your awareness to the reality of your soul. And I always thought, oh, just move my awareness around my soul and I'm done, I'm good. And then I realized I have to keep doing that. I have to keep moving my awareness to the reality of my soul. Unless it's there all the time, like in my present, in my focus, great, it's already like that. But when I'm not focused on it, I gotta keep moving it back to that if I want that experience. So it's a process of vigilance and of being aware, yeah, just like, and the more I do that, the more it does become a natural thing. But I have to keep redirecting in a sense. But it's like, it doesn't matter how many times you fall, only that you get up after the last one. It's the same thing. So as much as I move my awareness away from my soul, as long as I'm moving it back, to me that's the gift and the opportunity and the learning. How do I move it back to the truth? Yeah, and it gets easier and faster the more we do it, right? Just like we're practicing sport for me. So I'm just grateful for, yeah.
So in this moment, I'm just asking all of us to really move our awareness to that place within that is all joy, all love, all peace. And as you feel it, just feel you to overflowing. Just really allow it to radiate to, travel to, be available to, wherever it means. Really be aware that as we experience this, there is no holding it back. There is only an ability to allow it to be great service to the world. And I'll wrap up. But I kind of want to piggyback a little bit off of last week, I think. But you know, it's so easy to think that we're here to do great things, or to change this planet, or to save something, or to fix something that's broken. And in my experience, that paradigm, that perspective, well, it's not only not working with the greater truth of really what's going on here, because I do believe that God isn't making mistakes and everything is really perfectly in place to help us learn how to love and grow and lift. But more importantly, it sets us up in a way that we're moving out of lack. And so what I encourage my clients, and what I definitely encourage myself, and I do often get back from clients, but that's so selfish, right? To actually live our life based on like what makes you just explode with joy. Like, what do you love? And I recently got a few actors as clients, and one in particular whom I absolutely adore. Well, I love them all, but you know, she really has been coming up against this misbelief of it's selfish, right? Like, how can I give myself, how can I give, like, with all that's going on in the planet, how can I focus on the dream of being an actor? And just as that experience is so full, right? Imagine if everyone on the planet was following what they loved and following their joy. And who are we to think that God got it wrong, right? That he gave the dream, the heart-opening expansion of saving the whales to this person, or of really, caring for politics to this person. And to you, gave the dream, the opportunity to really let go of who you're not, to really be that love that you are. Who are you to say that no, acting's not enough? Acting's not a beautiful, the vehicle through which I'm going to transform and just really share my light with the world. And so whatever, right, opens us with joy, with love, if we can follow that and live that, right? If everyone was living in this place of allowing love, of spirit.
That's going to serve the world too in the greatest degree. So it's like it's like a side product that some people just go after serving the world, and I think that's the answer.
And I think what's incredible, right, is that when we truly take care of ourselves first, fill ourselves up from this place of joy, which is a spiritual alignment, really do what we love, which is service, right? I'm not sure I've ever experienced someone that's truly done that process and that hasn't naturally lifted, guided, connected them into real service, right? There is often then a way to help, to guide, to support, to lift, right? It starts with us, but it just very naturally expands into touching, reaching out, really being a part of mankind, womankind. But it really, in order for that to work and to flow and to really have a sustained life, I really believe we need to start with us, doing it for us.
I just want to, let's just have a few comments. So I have just what I hear, Becky, about, you say joy is everywhere. What about finding the joy in the middle of a challenge? And what came forward is actually something Zoë wrote about recently in her blog. It might have been the last few days or last week. And it's a process of, well, in this moment, am I supposed to lift? So lift into the positive experience, which I would say the joy, the love, the higher awareness, or am I supposed to drop into the challenge, into the part that feels unheard, that is challenged, that's out of balance, and give that love, hear it, feel, just allow the challenge to be present, allow the disturbance to be present, and work that process. And Zoe really guides us through it in this blog. Do you remember what it's called?
Will be the most recent.
Yeah.
If you go to my website, it will be the most recent. If you click love, so I have divided my blog into love and success recently. So if you click love, it's the most recent post.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, if going to the joy and the love, imagining it, mocking it up, thinking about your puppy, if that works, then that's great.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work, if you're still feeling the challenge, then be with what's present and attend to that. And that is a form of going to the loving that challenge, loving the part of us that doesn't feel heard, that doesn't feel appreciated, doesn't feel whatever it is, right? And that's the opportunity. It's not always the easiest. I know for a fact, but the more I allow that and be present with it, and find out what it's really needing and asking for, the easier it gets, and the more it just becomes this graceful process. And it's not better or worse to drop or lift. Yeah. So it's all good. It's all God. It's all truly the opportunity.
Right. And I will put the link in the comments below. And I just thank you so much for highlighting this, right? Because the way that I work it inside of myself, and definitely encourage clients to work with this, is our challenges are like our small children, small parts of us, the small immature parts that need growing up, that need maturing. And, you know, as if you had a small child that was having a rough day, right? For the most part, we're going to encourage them to lift. It's right, like you're okay. Let's go to school, right? We're going to do this, like
but
lift into the joy, like do this, right? And that's for the most part, that's what we do, and that's what's practical, and that's usually what works, right? Like we can do this, right? But when something just continues to be a challenge, when there is clearly some imbalance, some hurt, some deeper challenge, continually lifting, or what I call spiritually bypassing, is not going to work. There is a part of you that needs your loving, and really, you know, the Ron and Mary Holnick quote that for me describes all loving in the matter of a dozen words, but it is healing is the application of loving to the places that hurt. So if we're not really allowing ourselves to hurt, to be connected and one, and embracing and really compassionate with the challenge, the hurt, when it's really up and calling to us, well, we're just missing on the greatest opportunity to really let go of these layers, right? Evolve, let go of layers of our illusion, our ego, and it's just such a profound opportunity. But this technology of lifting or dropping, right?
I love it.
I love it because so often, right, we think there is a rule that's going to work for us every time, right? Even the idea of eating healthy, right? That's the key to happiness. That's the key to life, right? If you gave yourself the rule of only eating healthy, of only eating apples,
magic
or something
formula,
like that, right? The magic, do that every. You're gonna, like, I can't even imagine all the problems that would arise out of that, right? Sometimes we need a treat. There is never one rule for every situation, and I believe the reason we're designed this way is that we're not here to live rules. We're not here to live everyone's great guidelines for how to be a happy person. We're here to learn how to awaken to the source of every answer, of all happiness, of all truth, which is inside of us. And so in some moments, right, like for me, hopefully 90 to 99% of times, like, eat healthy. It's a great choice. But other times it's a clear and joyful and expansive call that maybe what I would usually call healthy food, i.e. chocolate or cake or something, right? Actually eating that is the healthiest for me because anyway, it's very interesting. Not sure why I chose that example. But I love the lift and drop because it gets us out of giving our responsibility and our ownership to any particular tool, but it really makes us check inside, right? Actually be in our energy, be guided by how is our energy field actually guiding us forward. Are we lifting into what's true, or are we just naturally able to drop into what we need?
You're such a rock star at allowing yourself to drop. That's one thing I love about Zoe. And that in the beginning of our relationship, that would totally trigger me and tweak me because I wasn't allowing myself to drop. So when she would, I'd feel super uncomfortable with her being in her immaturity, her unaware part, and really allowing that to come out in fullness. But as I've worked with myself and my own parts that are unaware and uneducated and immature in ways and just don't know yet, I've become way more comfortable with it. And so, like the other day, instead of trying to fix Zoe and tell her to lift into the truth, maybe the truth of spirit, that everything's good, everything's God, of course, blah, blah, blah. You know, it was like, no, how can I support you? And Zoe so easily just allows the challenge and the part that feels broken, crazy, whatever it is, to come out in full force. And
I really, awesome. I would love to share more about this and just be easily inspired to share more about this because yeah. So on Tuesday night, for no good reason, right, that I was aware of consciously, I just felt broken, right? It was a couple of days before my period, so, you know, I think our physiology often contributes to karmically how we're called to clear, to evolve. And I could have, I don't know, just sunk myself in a whole lot of TV or continued to eat because I'd actually already started eating a bunch. But I was like, honey, I'm broken, right? I just know what this feeling is for me, and it's a deep part inside that really needs to be let go of. It's like a deep hurt that's ready right now in this moment to be seen, to be loved, and to be let go of. And I don't know how this works for everyone. I only can share how it clearly works for me. And I'm grateful that clearly it works for many, many of my clients. But this illusion that we come into a place where it's like, oh, I've processed that, I'm clear, I'm done with that. Because I can't tell you, well, I can just tell you on Tuesday night, even though initially it had nothing to do with me and my mum, right? But again, right, it was just, I was led into this place of just being deeply connected to the hurt of missing my mum, of just that part that is still letting go of the grieving that I definitely am perhaps still catching up on, but just the illusions that that she isn't completely with me, that that there is anything to be hurt or upset about, right? Because I have a whole level of my consciousness that does not get that, right? My ego selves wants her here, right? Only credits or acknowledges if she's here physically. And so really allowing myself to feel that hurt, but then also go into the self-forgiveness, right? I forgive myself for buying into the misbelief that she's not with me and that she's not still completely loving and guiding and supporting me like right now. And it's just not only coming into a greater spiritual awareness of me and the whole world, but it's helping me let go of those lower levels that are illusion. And, you know, I just don't experience, for me, that I could let go of just that physical, energetic level, that block, that energy without really going into it and loving it. So that's why that quote of healing is the application of loving to the places that hurt. We've got to allow them to hurt. And we've also, and it's not just a process of, I'm hurt, flail, look at me, I'm hurt. That's recycling emotion. And that, in my experience, isn't of great value, right? But in having the courage and the compassion for ourselves to drop into that hurt, and in that place also bring in our unconditional loving, our spirit, and really love those places that hurt. For me, it's that bridging of the spirit to the human that bridges that part. They're no longer separate, and so when they're oneness in spirit, that dissolves, that transmutes, that karma lifts. And I don't see that spiritually, I just feel it in terms of my energies. I feel lighter, like I feel like, oh yeah, nothing's wrong. The world's a wonderful place again, right? So I just feel a lightness, and I know that something has lifted, but I don't see that energetically. I can just tell you from my own experience what that process is. And just hearing from enough clients is like, usually what they share is that, oh, wow, I just feel lighter, right? I just feel like something lifted.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's not a problem anymore, right? Oh yeah, like whatever I was talking about still exists, hasn't changed, but it's not a problem. It's okay. It is as it should be. Well, I just love this. I feel like I could ramble all day.
It doesn't mean that's like the final layer, or like there's never going to be a challenge with the same thing. Like there can be many layers to healing, and I think that's one of the issues people come against, is that like, oh, I healed it, it's gone forever, and then when something comes back and it feels like similar, it's like, oh, I didn't do it And then some
I
I've
must have
had the
done it
experience,
wrong.
like, yeah, I've done it wrong. I didn't really feel it. I was an illusion. It wasn't real. Like, all these things. No, really, there's these perfect layers, and they come out perfectly as they should of what we can handle at the moment.
Truly.
And I really, truly believe that Spirit gives us what we can handle.
Yep.
So it's all a blessing. So we just attend to it as it comes present, as it needs attention.
Truly.
And it's kind of blows me away quickly the parallel between us working with ourselves and our little children inside, or as Robert Waterman, a friend, calls them, our 1,000 little idiots.
Oh,
Which
really?
I think is a really
love
fun.
that.
I think it's so fun. Like, they're all running around, like what is that? The animated movie, like the little yellow guys.
The Minions.
The Minions. It makes me think of those guys. Like, they just don't know what they're doing. They're adorable. But it's like, all of it, like, to me, it's just like God working with itself. It's all this big parallel of God allowing itself in its own process of healing and loving it all and breaking through the illusion as it happens, as we allow it, as we choose into it. So it's a beautiful, perfect process.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful life. And so I will, the process that Eric mentioned is a very simple one. There's a lot of deeper healing the hurt kinds of processes on my website. Please feel free to explore them, or if you want to know where they are, please email me and I'm happy to send them to you. But the one that I sent out on the weekend, I will make sure that I put at the bottom of this video, no matter where you're watching it. So please do check it out and play around with it if you're called.
Love you guys. Light for the highest good, for all of our healing.
And happy Easter.
And our joy and our Easter weekend. Yeah.
What an incredible time. Yeah, I really do love Easter. I wasn't brought up religiously, right? Easter was always about chocolate eggs for me. And it probably still is for most people. But I do really experience it as a profound time of new beginnings. Why
not?
Yeah, it's an exciting time. Just you can feel the newness in the air, right? Oh my God! Well, if you're in the northern hemisphere anyway, spring. New energy. Alrighty, I love you guys. I can just ramble forever, so I gotta say goodbye. Love you guys. Have an incredible week. We'll be back next Thursday.